that?
I was at number 19.
Yeah, what year was that then?
Huh?
What date? When was that? Was that the...
I don't remember.
Right.
But I was there before Elvis Presley died.
You were there, so before 1977 then? He died in 1977.
My name's Yannick and I've been living in the co-op since April. I actually applied through the council housing system, so I just applied through there and got a response the next day. I was actually searching for a council property, but then the co-op was available for me, so I went for a viewing.
I know what it's like living with councils, and I thought, co-op sounds a bit more up our street. We were sort of, as I say, we thought we could do everything ourselves, really. Back in those days, we thought we were going to change the world, really.
What did you like about being in a co-op with the meetings and everything?
First time it was all over the place, meeting, all over the place, there, everywhere.
Did you always go?
And then here was the last place they settled down.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so what were they like in the early days, those meetings?
Pardon?
What were they like at the start, those co-op meetings?
Well, for me, it was okay.
It was okay, yeah.
In those days, one of the things that we managed to do was keep the last house, by the time everybody was living in the others and this one hadn't been done, we were able to save the ground floor for communal purposes. And so there was a meeting room, and when I was rootling around earlier on, I found a file about the Irish in Southwark and remembered that they used to, that was a history group that used to meet regularly in that room.
In the sort of properties that the co-op have, you have to remember they're hand-me-down properties, aren't they? They're ones that no one else wanted, which is exactly what happened with the place that I live in and made a home in for more than 30 years. It was something that nobody else wanted. The reason I was offered it was because nobody in the co-op would even want it. Right? Then nobody else wanted to take it on. When I moved in there, I was putting some stuff out in the street, and I met a neighbour and he said, "Oh, you won't stay here long." Nobody stays here long.
Have you seen a lot of changes over the years?
Oh, many, because with William Blake House, I mean, only like half of the properties were for people who had a history of living in cooperative housing, and the other half, council nominations. And I think it took a while to come to some, like an equilibrium, because you come from very different extremes of, like, normally the ones that came from the council, who were council nominated, actually, like, were the people who wouldn't really say hello to your neighbour. Whereas I think, you know, with all the co-op people, we say hello to each other, and, you know, and it's in that way it's much more caring, I think. Yeah. And we kind of learnt with all the ups and downs and the growing up of the children, and, you know, the antisocial behaviour in the communal courtyard and garden, and, you know, you in the end found a balance. We found a balance, and I think we're a happy community, really, overall.
For a viewing. What I've noticed the difference between a co-op and a council for me is the relationship between the tenant and the organisation. So what I've realised is my experience with the council tends to be quite rigid, quite my interactions with them can be sometimes quite robotic, and I don't really get that sense of you know, caring about people as you should if people are vulnerable, and most people in the council are vulnerable. And when I was introduced to the co-op, I felt extremely supported before I even had a place here. So it really left a good impression on me. I feel like it's very community based. That's the big difference. You know, people know each other quite well, and can actually form relationships.
The reason, I don't know, why do I like being a part of cooperative living? Because we learn how to cooperate, I suppose, yeah. I think we tend to be more caring with all the ups and downs. We tend to care about each other more, and we're more involved. We're more, you know, sort of take care of our homes, I suppose, as well. We share things more.
Yeah. Someone said to you, Miss Reed, I'm thinking about joining a co-op. What would you say to them?
It's good.
It's good, yeah. What do you want for the future of the co-op?
I hope it's still good like first.
That's great.